Time for Prepared to Perform, presented by Bridgestone. Going back to the Ranger game, Mika Zibanejad with the overtime goal in that one. He's been performing as well as anybody in the NHL since mid-March. It's hard to believe this guy started off slow, and all of a sudden he's on fire.
Yeah, two games of 6 points against the Flyers will do that for you.
Yes.
So you got 12 points.
Just that second period alone.
Yeah.
That'll get you back in the hunt.
But you know what? You look for as an opportunity for any player. You look for an opportunity to get your game going. He did in a pretty obscure way as far as the way it happened. But now this is the Mika that we saw last year. I mean, he's got an offensive side to his game that is elite. And we're starting to see that now, and it's coming at the right time. This team's making a push.
Team's making a push. Contract year 2 for him. Great timing right now, to your point, Ruppy. You kind of mesh those two things. More importantly, the team side, of course, because now the team's starting to push, as you said, and they're climbing. They're looking more like themselves, and so too is Mika Zibanejad, who's become an elite player here on Broadway. He's become an elite player in this league, and nice to see him rediscover his form. He's dominant once again.
So we've talked about the Flyers last night. In depth, at length. We see the Bruins and their struggles right now, and then we're talking about and praising the New York Rangers. Things going to get interesting in that division for that fourth and final playoff spot for you down the stretch?
Totally. Yeah, no question. I think it's heating up right now. Yeah, no question. It's the Rangers now are putting things into a whole different dimension. So too are the Bees in their free fall, Rupper, you talked about. So too are the Flyers in their free fall as well. The Penguins hit their A game. Look at where they are. Yep. We know the Islanders have been money all year long. So, and here's the thing that's also interesting too. The Devs have played very competitively. Those aren't easy games when you play the Devs. Those aren't gimme points.
Exactly.
And now Buffalo, the last 2 games have played, 3 games have played better too. So it's put this whole thing in a little bit of a blender right now for that 4th spot.
Yeah, no, the Penguins have surpassed now the Bruins, and they keep climbing. They play the Bruins again on Saturday, which we have on the network here for the showcase game, and it's fantastic because the Penguins have an easy schedule from here on out. Not easy. They got Buffalo, they've got New Jersey quite a few times still, and I don't know where exactly Boston is in that mix, but my point being, Boston's not going to catch a team on the up. They're going to have to push the teams that are coming behind them down. And they've got games in hand right now, but you've got to win those. And it doesn't look good right now for Buffalo. So this leads me, doesn't look good here for Philly, doesn't look good here for Boston. New York Rangers got an opportunity here if they can string some stuff together.
How much pressure does this put those standings on these GMs as far as making moves and making them before the other teams can make those moves?
I think it places a lot of pressure on them for this reason alone. It's a truncated season. So we've got this condensed schedule. It's only 56 games, so you can't ride it out. Not to mention we've got literally 11 days until the trade deadline right now, if you want to look at it that way. And also, too, not to mention that this is way more competitive than people probably thought it would have been. It hasn't necessarily played out the way people might have projected it to based on rosters, based on all the variables. And here's the last thing, too, and for you fans, too, what's interesting. Not all teams are going to get in potentially every one of their games. So it could come down to win percentage. We've been talking about this here. So imagine, heaven forbid.
Right, Boston's got those games in hand, but if they don't get them in.
If you don't get them in, and then you don't get the points, and it's based on the games and the percentage of the wins that you do have, and the points, rather, that you do have up until said time. So you got to take advantage of the games while they're there.
Throws another wrinkle into the mix. I
Totally.
like that.
Yep.
Adding intrigue to the situation down the stretch. All right, so same situation going on in a lot of these divisions as far as that playoff race goes. The Preds certainly in it now, courtesy of their 6-game winning streak. Can they keep it going tonight against Dallas? We'll check in next.
Prepared to Perform is presented by Bridgestone. Solutions for your journey.